Hello Internet, and welcome to my first live reaction for To Your Eternity, for chapter 138.2 on Comixology or 138.5 on Crunchyroll. When we last left our heroes, after having finally gotten rid of the knocker inside Memori, in no small part thanks to the help of the mysterious Naginata girl knocker, Fushi was able to make a new body for Memori, and she was kind of happy to be back to life. There was some commentary on how she never really wanted to die, as her soul never really ascended to paradise, but we kind of left Memori with Hirotoshi, which, okay. I mean, as long as Hirotoshi is gone. Meanwhile, Fushi went to go confront the Naginata girl, who was a student at his school. She seems to have absolutely no memory of anything that's happened. But it does seem that she did want to die at one point, which would fit into the knocker MO at the moment. But while Fushi is confronting her, he kind of gets into sort of suggestive hand-on-the-wall pose, and he is seen by Mizuha and the guy traveling with her, Rikuya. Rikuya kind of confronts Fushi, calls him a bit of a philanderer, and Mizuha slaps him. And so Rikuya goes home, and while he goes home, he gets a nosebleed, and his teeth start falling out, and by the time he wakes up, by the time morning comes, and his mother wakes him up, his teeth have all fallen out, his bones are all broken, he's dead. He's pretty fucking dead. So yeah, a lot last week as we sort of phased out Memori and jumped into this new arc. And so yeah, we open, with, in the classroom, everyone's kind of gossiping about, Rikuya. Did you hear about Rikuya-kun? I heard every bone in his body was broken. What? No way! Well, he was asleep? Someone said the cops were at his house. Isn't that scary? And we see, Hana was her name? Mizuha's old friend in the occult club, I think was her name. Is kind of listening in on this, and she says to the rest of the occult club guys, "It sounds like something really awful happened to that guy. This is a serious incident. Do you think they've caught the culprit yet?" And Yuki yells at them, "Of course they haven't! This is an abduction by extraterrestrial life forms. Aliens abducted him and destroyed his insides with their experiments." So Yuki was not privy to the scene from last time where Mizuha got her slap on. So he has no idea the context for all this. He's also just kind of very, very blasé about their classmate who is super dead. Also, if I'm not mistaken there, on the second panel on the first page, when Hana is looking back at the gossiping students, I think that's Fushi walking past her, but I'm not quite sure. It might be. Anyway, the two other club members are, "Geez, I wish I could be abducted." "I know what you mean." And Hana opens the door. Oh, it's open. And we see Mizuha is in the club room already, and she, chapter 138, Enemy's Den Part 2, and she runs towards Hana. "Hana! Rikuya-kun, he..." And Hana tries to kind of, like, calmly laugh it off. "You don't normally get so emotional about these things, Mizuha." And Mizuha kind of, like an emotional mess. "Well, I saw him the day before it happened. Nothing was wrong with him then, but I was so cold to him. If I had known this was going to happen, I would have been nicer." So she has definitely and understandably not put her slap as the catalyst of what happened to Rikuya. And maybe she's right to not do that. We're not quite sure yet. But anyway, Hana comforts her. "Don't blame yourself. You're fine just the way you are." And then Mizuha just, like, goes in for the hug. We got a glomp sound effect, like it's 2005 or something. Oop. And then she kind of laughs. "I'll always take a hug from you, Mizuha. I'll stay by your side if you want." And Mizuha just listens in, silently. And then we cut to Fushi, sitting on a tree, holding what I'm assuming is the Naginata that Hayase's clan had. Because we see a flashback with Hayase, with Hisame, with Kahaku, which apparently is the translation for Kahak. I use sense scans that early in the series, so I always called him Kahak. But Kahaku, and Fushi looks at it. 500 years ago, I know I felt Kahaku and the knocker in his arm vanish. I thought I was done with all the Guardians and knocker business. But if the Guardians were behind the Memori incident, I can't let them go unchecked. Could they have been? Because the Guardians were all from Hayase's bloodline, and we know what's going on with that. You know, Izumi kind of dragged Mizuha away from that whole life. So I think her grandpa is still kind of the last head of the Guardians. Mizuha probably will eventually end up in that role, but still. Um, but either way, I'm also a little bit confused as to where he, like, did he just have this part of the Naginata lying around? Because I thought that the, Naginata girl had the Naginata, but apparently not. Hold on, I was being very stupid earlier. On the first page, the girl the person that Hana is looking at is Naginata girl, because Fushi also watches her through the window. I'd like to just ask what they're up to, but the knocker inside Funa won't come out and talk. I guess Funa is Naginata girl's name. Guess I'll have to go undercover. But I'm sure I'm being observed. How, though? No idea. And then he comes to a realization, hey, what if I got small like them? I'll give it a shot, and just trust that they'll lose track of me. And he turns into a fish, and jumps into, I guess there's water by the school, though I didn't quite notice that before. I'll stay on the move, shrink smaller and smaller to hide myself. And he turns into this kind of a daddy longlegs, maybe? I'm not quite familiar enough with insect species to give an exact answer to that. Then get a better grasp of my target. And then he turns into a mosquito. And his animal instincts kick in, and he starts sucking Funa's blood. Wow! Freaking yum! And Funa just swats him. And he kind of, falls off of Funa. And Funa, who's in, a subway tunnel now, is talking to someone. What do you want to talk about? And then whoever he's talking to responds, this is both a purging and guidance. And we see Fushi is starting to transform back after his mosquito form got crushed. And just then, whoever that is, skewers Funa through. Fushi even feels her pain. Fushi at this point is transformed into a cat, it looks like? Yeah, turned into a cat. And Funa is just sort of... I mean, if she's a knocker, she can survive that, but still. And Funa just asks, well, why did you... And the person drops Funa. Fushi kind of reacts to that. And he's really feeling the intense pain she's under. As she's wheezing. And then the mystery person has grabbed the Naginata. It is alright. I am here with you. And Fushi looks at it, and then turns back into his human form and grabs it. Stop! And the Naginata, I think, falls to the ground. And it's Mizuha again? Okay. So, maybe this is a larger Guardian conspiracy. Because you'll recall, clearly you'll recall, Mizuha was the one who killed Izumi before the knocker possessed Izumi. And so, but she had no memory of it. And there's all these lines on her face. It could maybe be, there are probably blood drips from Funa. But look, maybe some kind of facial marking? It's probably blood. I'm probably reading too much into that. But Fushi's understandably surprised. Huh? And Fushi just asks Mizuha. And then I think Mizuha's waking up now. She sees Funa lying in the puddle of blood. Huh? What in the... But interestingly enough, though, last time she did this, right, when she killed Izumi was still alive. She became a knocker after that incident. Funa, however, seemingly was already a knocker before she was stabbed by Mizuha here. So what is going on? I mean, this basically confirms that there's some connection between the knocker's current plans and the Guardian bloodline. But anyway, Mizuha's woken up in a total state of shock. What's going on? Why am I Fushi? And Fushi just snaps at her. I'm the one who wants answers. Why did you do this? And Mizuha looks at him, and then looks down to Funa in, the pool of her own blood. And, I think those wheezes earlier were Funa, and she stopped breathing now. Which would imply that she's dead, but again, she should be a knocker. Unless she was unless she wasn't a knocker no, but she would have to be. Unless we're just going to throw in time travel, that couldn't have been a future Funa. I don't know. I can't figure it out. But Fushi watches as Funa like stops breathing. Mizuha turns back towards Fushi. And then Mizuha with like tears in her eyes. I don't remember. And Fushi kind of sits down with her. Has the blood spread over to them? Because it looks like they're sitting down in something liquid. It might be. They might be kneeling in Funa's blood. And Fushi looks at her arm. I'm guessing for signs of knocker infection like Tahaku had. But I don't see anything. And he kind of lets her arm down. Oh. Oh no, he's looking at her like a slit wrist, maybe? Like she's been cutting herself? Maybe. That's the best thing I can work out. But I don't see anything. But also her sleeve would be covering that, I feel like. But anyway, Fushi tells her, if you're going through something so hard that it makes you want to die, I want to help you. She just killed a person, Fushi! Focus on that! And Mizuha looks at him, Fushi! And she gives him a hug. I know how to do that. Love me. Okay. There's that Hayase in her. And that's where the chapter ends. The two of them just kneeling in Funa's blood. Okay. I want to take a look again at the moment where Funa is stabbed. Because at first glance, I thought that was the Naginata. And even I'm on page 6, even on the top left panel of page 6, it looks like there's a blade through her. But on the top right panel of page 6, it's this kind of jagged geometric shape. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Like, is that some knocker power? Or because my first thought is this is to get the Naginata back. If Funa has the Naginata, and it's somehow tied up in all this, and it's some Guardians bloodline shit, then Mizuha would have done this to get the Naginata. But then on the top right panel, top left panel of that page, it looks like the Naginata blade is the one that is what stabbed Funa. I don't know. I'm so lost. Like, what the fuck? Damn. Like, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with all this. But as far as I can work out what's happening here is Mizuha keeps having, like, I can work out most of it. It's just Funa that kind of confuses me. Because this is now the second time Mizuha has murdered someone with no memory of having done it. Like, she killed Izumi a while back after she realized the valuable heirloom hair tie was just, like, something she'd bought at the dollar store. And then she killed Funa here, seemingly to regain the Naginata, I guess. But then, how does Funa play into this? And then there's that line, this is both a purging and guidance, that Mizuha says before she kills Funa, which I'm assuming can't be the conscious Mizuha. It must be a knocker or something. But then, where is the knocker? Inside Mizuha. Is there one there? I don't know. There's a whole lot this chapter is kind of bringing up. And, you know, I was kind of worried when I started reviewing this in the aftermath of the Hirotoshi nonsense, that I was like, that the series was going back into a downswing. But this is just, like, I am riveted. I need to know what happens next. Next week can't get here fast enough. But, like, God, I don't know. Like, Funa's the real mystery here. I can, like I said, I can almost work out Mizuha. There's some obvious mysteries there, but it's clear where the mysteries are supposed to be. You know, we don't know what's happening to her, but we know that something is happening to her. Something is happening to her. It's maybe Guardian blood related. It's maybe knocker related, but it's making her kill people. But it would seem initially like her actions are to turn people into knockers. But Funa should already be a knocker because we saw her as a knocker when she killed the Memori knocker. I don't know. I need answers. But Mizuha has never apparently been one to let the fact that she murdered a girl stop her from being madly in love with Fushi. Which is really just a bloodline trait at this point. So yeah, gripping chapter. And I like how it starts really kind of like soft. Like we have this soft Hana and Mizuha scene. And then we have, I love the mosquito gag. I'm always down for Fushi turning into animals and then get way into animal instincts. Like the sea turtle scene is one of my favorites. And this is like in that vein. And then it just completely flips the script by, you know, Mizuha running Funa through. I don't know. I just need some Funa answers. And yeah, Mizuha is as Mizuha is. She's still, you know, help me by loving me. And we'll see what all comes of that next time. So, that's all I have to say for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!